Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Iron Kaiser Gaming, and welcome back to Age of Empires 3. I know you guys out there are really big AoE3 fans, and a lot of you are looking for something new. You're looking for new ways to play the game, new civs to toy around with, and new experiences in your favorite real-time strategy game. Well, you can't go wrong with the Age of the World. I featured this mod on the channel before, but Age of the World is this huge mod that brings in dozens of brand new civilizations into the game, each with their own unique units, home city cards, new strategies and buildings and ways of playing the game. Well, they've got a big old 2.0 update coming out, and it's bringing in a lot of new features, including 4 reworked brand new African civilizations into the game. The developer, Kaito Santos, he reached out and offered me an early access look into the mod, and so it is my pleasure to give you a glimpse, a showcase of the 4 new African civilizations that are introduced by Age of the World that are joining the Ethiopians and the Hausa into AoE 3. I hope you enjoy the video. If you do, please be sure to like it, subscribe to the channel, let me know in the comments below if you want to see more Age of the World. There are even more goodies out there. But for now, enjoy the video. Alright guys, we're going to start off with the Egyptians, and they have some really cool, unique features. They have, of course, the African classics like the livestock market. Lets you buy and sell cattle for key resources. But the Egyptians also have some pretty unique buildings like the Monument. The Monument not only houses Alliance technologies, but it also empowers nearby villagers, allowing them to generate XP as they work. They also have access to the Stela, does something very similar. It improves the gather rates of nearby villagers, and also makes those monument bonuses even stronger. They have access to the Nubian farms, which allow their villagers to generate food, coin, or wood, which is a really flexible late-game bonus. As well as the mosque features a bunch of technologies that just make your economy very strong. And then finally, of course, up here we have the War Camp, which features a whole bunch of unique units. In Age 2, we have access to the Fellahin Musketeer, alright, which is kind of your, just your Musketeer unit. Pretty classic. This guy's really cool. The Nafatun, think of him like a Shotel warrior with a charged shotgun shot. Very, very cool. Cavalry, we have the Mameluke, which, to my understanding, even though it's got the same name as the mercenary unit, it's actually a different type of unit. You'll notice this is not... Ignore that description. It says Bold Cavalry Mercenary, but the mercenary tag doesn't show up, so I don't think that's actually the same unit as the Mameluke in the base AoE 3. And then the Camel Javelineer, which is, of course, your light cavalry option, and it's very good in melee. You have access to the Palace, but no real unique units there. Let's dive over to Age 3 really quickly. In Age 3, we also have the Bazinger, elite Egyptian warrior that is as effective at range as in melee combat. And you'll notice, let's see, interesting, not heavy infantry. Oh, and he's light infantry. He's a light infantry unit. So, a light infantry option as good in melee as in range. Very interesting. I wonder if he's more resilient against cavalry attacks than you might expect. That's awesome. Awesome concept. Next up we have Morocco, and they've got some really interesting flexible buildings. First, the mosque does, I think, the same thing as with the Egyptians, unlocking technologies that improve your economy. But I just gotta highlight the architecture, man. I love this. This is my favorite part of the Age of the World, is how every civilization has these really unique models for their buildings, the architectural design. It's just a lot of fun. But a unique building for the Moroccans is the Argan Plantation. Take a look at this. This is an infinite source of wood or influence. So you can think of it kind of like a mill for wood or influence, right? Different technologies that are available that will increase your, the development of those two resources. Couple that up with the Garb Plains Farmstead. And this combines a mill and the kind of the African marketplace. So we can task our goats here to the mill, sell them just like at a normal marketplace, but you have the farm on top of that, a really unique feature. You also got access to the granary and a lot of classic things. Something else that's interesting is the Moroccans have access to all of their buildings, other than the town center, I guess, in Age 2. So you're not really unlocking any buildings in Age 3, but you are unlocking some units. Here in Age 2, we have the Berber Archer and the Berber Spearman. And, I don't think there's really anything that unique about them, other than they have amazing designs, really capturing that Berber atmosphere. You gotta love that. Let's see. We have the the Camel Riders, which again, just like before with the Mameluke, we have the description that suggests here, the Zanatas. Yeah, this suggests it's a mercenary unit, but the tag isn't there anymore. So I think these are redesigned units, stat-wise, to keep them balanced. So even though it says mercenary, I don't think these are mercenary units. They are very thematic. Let's go to Age 3 really quick. You know what I didn't do with the Egyptians? I did not upgrade their units. Oh, look at that. Look at that. We're going to have to flash back to Egypt really fast just so we can see them. But here we go. Look at the awesome designs there as we go into Age 3. So cool. All right, we also have in the war camp in Age 3 the Zouave and the Riffian. I know I'm going to pronounce that wrong. The Amazigh. The Amazigh is a tribal infantry with a strong melee attack. So this looks like maybe a halberdier-like unit, sort of a super pikeman. Yeah. Oh no, that's actually shock infantry. Interesting. Okay. A shock infantry unit. So more like maybe almost like cavalry. Anyway, Zouave, very strong, generic infantry. So this is not heavy infantry, it's not light infantry. Just a good all-arounder if that's what your army needs. And then once again, of course, we have the palace. We have access to quite a few mercenaries that are available to you. But I don't think there's anything that special out there. The Salt Camel constructs a salt mine. I guess you just, as long as you have the wood, you can train even more gold. Very cool. The Moroccan economy must be insane.
You might have the technology, but I
Very
have the army.
Alright, next up we have the Yoruba. An interesting civilization. They don't have quite as many unique buildings as the previous two we've looked at, but they have some interesting options available to them. First, they have the Oya, which looks to me a lot like the Egyptian monument, except the other way around. The Oya generates influence, and it generates more influence the more nearby villagers there are, which is very different from the Egyptian monument, where the villagers are generating the resources as long as they're working near the monument. I don't know which one is better, but it's still a really cool building. And you see, of course, a lot of economic technologies that are available within this building. You also have access to the Agbo Ileoko, another farm that lets you choose between food, coin, and wood. Pretty unique. And then what you'll notice is they don't have a war camp like our previous two civilizations. Instead, they have a battle camp, which serves as the Yoruban barracks. In Age 2, we have access to the Jagun Jagun, just basically like the pikeman here, and the Yoruba Oyo Legionary, which of course should look familiar to classic AoE 3 players. And then they have a stable, giving you access to the Esso Rider and the Javelin Rider in Age 2. You also have the Palace in Age 2, which gives you Levied Gunner, Yoruba Cannoneer, very cool looking guys, and the Cannoneer. Alright. I think, before we move on to our final civ, I haven't really highlighted all the alliances that are available to each of these civilizations. But look at the incredible artwork, and each of these alliances, every civilization we've looked at, has their own set of alliances, each with their own unique technologies and units. So there is so much more to these civilizations than I am even showcasing, right? And I think I don't believe we looked at the cards with the previous two civilizations either, but every civilization chock full of brand new home city shipments with some really interesting gameplay implications, right? So some very, very cool things here. Let's go ahead and pick the Amoros here to go up to age 3. And we'll take a look really quickly at some of their age 3 options. Alright, in age 3 we get access to the Oniyikoyi, legendary Yoruba warrior with both a powerful hand and siege attack. Probably, I'm guessing, a halberdier-like unit there for the Yoruba. And the Eso Ota Ibon, a skirmisher with a long-range attack but low hit points. Nice. Alright, and if we upgrade these units, what do they look like? Nice. And over in the stable here in age 3, we have the Eso Ikoyi, a ranged cavalry unit effective against cavalry, heavy infantry, and artillery. That is busted. Oh my goodness. He's good against cavalry and heavy infantry and artillery? Well, what are you weak against? I wonder if it's specifically heavy cav. So maybe it's weak to light cavalry and light infantry. Looks like the play there. But still, really strong units. And just for the fun of it, let's see if anything cool happens in age 4. Yeah, these are some awesome looking designs. Guys, I cannot stop talking about the architecture. The design of the units, the design of the buildings. This is a pretty civilization. I just gotta say that. And finally, we're looking at the Zulu. And they have so much unique stuff going on. This might be the most exciting of the 4. Right out of the gate, we're looking at the town center, and not only does it look really cool, but you'll notice it's actually a unique town center. It's not just a TC, it's an Ikanda. And what that means is it's the Zulu town center that spawns a matriarch every time an Ikanda is built. And that's just the Zulu house, right? Whenever you build a house, you get a matriarch. And the matriarch is a unit that ever so slowly spawns Zulu units. So when you play the Zulu, you're getting these matriarchs from your houses, and you are generating army just from these matriarchs, right? So you get free units you can turn around and throw at your enemy, meaning they can be a very aggressive civilization. Also, that's a gorgeous house, is it not? Let's note that the Zulu are not just about aggression and offense. They have some really unique economic options, too. They have the grain kraal, which kind of works like the, well, I'm forgetting the term, but it's kind of like the, it lures in hunt, just like the Ethiopians, the Hausa do with their, I think it's the granary, if I'm not mistaken, right? But you'll notice it doesn't just improve hunter-gather rates, it also improves the gather rates from the kraal and the herbalist market. So here's the kraal right here, which is, again, kind of like the Zulu version of the farm, right? You can also use it to train, cattle, and you can buy and sell the cattle, right? But you get access to the unique Nguni prize bull, which are, as I understand it, super versions of the Nguni cattle, which you spend with influence instead of coin. Meanwhile, this is a really cool idea. The herbalist market it works just like a market does, right? So you got the ecotechs and, buy and sell resources and all that. But the market here also serves as your plantation. You can't gather from it until you reach the 3rd age, but once you do, your market turns into your very first plantation, and of course you can throw down more markets and gather coin from them in that way. That is a beautifully simple, elegant civilization design. I really like the herbalist market. All right, we're in age 2 here, and if we go down to, again, like with our last civilization, the Yoruba, the Zulu have to train a barracks and then a stable. We have the battle camp and the horse crawl. Here at the battle camp, we have access to the Assegai, a ranged infantry unit that throws javelins, good against cavalry. All right, so heavy infantry unit right there, like your musketeer unit. You have the Impi, kind kind of your spearman unit, right? Good against cavalry, good in mass. And I would bet a decent siege attack. Yeah. The musket warrior here is your light infantry unit. So a little bit tricky. That is not a musketeer, right? That's your skirmisher unit. And then over here, the Ibutho, anti-building hand infantry. So this might be your preferred siege unit, perhaps. Decent against cavalry, I guess, but also, yeah, that's a massive siege attack. Really good for melting buildings. Over in the horse crawl, you have access to the Basuto Scout, which is interesting. Is that a light cavalry unit? This is a heavy cav, good against other cavalry. Very interesting. Huh. I wonder then how it compares when it fights against infantry. And the Corona Horseman, a light cav unit, which is also good against cavalry. So the Zulu seem to have a really strong stable. Alright. Oh, here's the Explorer, by the way. I've not really highlighted the Explorers here, but Shaka Zulu, of course, is the Royal Zulu hero. He gets access to the Javelin Throw as well as Chaos. So pretty cool, pretty cool. Let's go ahead and age up to age 3 here. Do that. Alright. Upgrade my units here. So cool. Really neat. We gotta go back and look at the amazing stuff in the town center here. Alright, age 4 the Soto. Oh, very nice indeed. And one more time, upgrading our units. Very cool. Alright, that's the Zulu. And let me see, am I missing anything? I don't think so. The Royal Hut. I guess I didn't mention the Royal Hut. This is the Zulu version of, like, the palace. I don't think there's anything unique about the Royal Hut, but I might be mistaken on that. Either way, of course, you get access to all of your different mercenary units through the Royal Hut. So, some very cool, unique Zulu options there as well. And finally, I've got to add, if you want to check out this mod for yourself, all you've got to do is go into the Tools menu and go to Mods, browse mods, and look up Age of the World. And you want to find the mod simply called, once it loads up here, you want to find the mod called Age of the World, and you might want to go ahead and pick up the Campaign Civs patch at the same time. Both of these mods will unlock a whole bunch of new civilizations for you to play around in. I think you're really going to enjoy it, especially if you're a single player kind of player that just enjoys skirmishing it out against the bots. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that a lot. Let me know in the comments below if you want to see more Age of the World. For now, this is yours truly, the Iron Kaiser, signing out. Have a great one out there.